What's up guys, I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never and welcome back to another one of my videos. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Alright, so as usual, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. So this is actually Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, and we had a very strong weekly candle close last night. This was actually a bullish engulfing candle, which is the exact kind of thing that we wanted to see. Now it's interesting because we actually look very good right now. I know there's still a lot of panic in the market right now. However, what I like to see is that we have retested the 50-day moving average 3 different times and closed above it every single time. Not to mention we came down and got very close to retesting the previous all-time high. Now we didn't actually retest this level, so there is always a chance that we do end up doing that. But purely from a technical analysis standpoint, this absolutely looks like it could have been the bottom. The fact that we've retested support 3 different times and did not lose it, and we have a bullish engulfing candle. So honestly, if this was just a normal chart, I would personally feel very confident saying that this is the bottom. Now what makes it difficult to do that is because there's so much crazy macro news happening right now. Obviously, if something crazy comes out with tariffs or something along those lines, then it's going to drop the market. So I don't necessarily feel confident saying that we have bottomed, but from a technical analysis standpoint, it actually looks likely. And the other thing that I've been showing you guys recently is the M2 global liquidity. And the reason I've been showing you guys this is because in the past, when the global liquidity has topped out, we have usually seen a breakout a couple weeks down the road. Sometimes it takes a couple months, but usually the breakout does happen. You can see right here, local top, we exploded. Local top, we exploded. Local top, we exploded. And the global liquidity is rising and it looks like we might have found a local top. Now, is this going to equal an explosion again? Only time will tell. But this indicator does usually front run explosions. And you also pair that with the RSI and the stochastics. The stochastics are extremely oversold. There are many indicators right now that would suggest we could absolutely see an explosion. Now again, I'm not saying that it's going to happen right now, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's happening by May. The reality is that inflation was lower than expectations, which could lead to rate cuts, and it also could lead to the end of quantitative tightening. And in terms of altcoins, we're also seeing the Ethereum Pectra upgrade coming out on May 7th. There could be a lot of macro catalysts coming out. Now I'm basically done with Bitcoin. I just quickly want to point out the daily time frame. So what you need to understand about the daily time frame is that the stochastics are getting very overbought and we have not gotten back above the 200-day moving average. This is a very important level. So as good as the weekly time frame looks right now, in order for us to pump in the short term, we have to break this level. If you see us come up here and get rejected off of this level, then expect more short-term downside. Again, I think we look very good on the weekly, but that's not the same thing as the daily. So I do not think the daily looks as good as the weekly, to be clear. But we'll see what happens. If we break this level, I might change my tune. Now, if we take a look at Mr. Miggles, you can see Miggles has actually had a decent recovery since my last Miggles video. It's back to a $29.1 million market cap. And obviously, this is the kind of thing I like to see. It's very important for a project to be showing strength when the market's showing a little bit of strength. Now, obviously, when you look at Ethereum on the larger time frame, it still looks like we're in a giant falling knife. But Ethereum had fallen down to a low of $1,383, and it's back to $1,650. So even when the market shows a little bit of strength, you want your project to be showing strength. And Miggles is doing exactly that. Now, the level that I'm really watching for Miggles right here is to see if we can come back up and put in a higher local high. If we can clear this level right here, then it could absolutely signal an uptrend. Now, obviously, what's going to be more important is Bitcoin and Ethereum. If we see Bitcoin and Ethereum break out, by nature, Miggles is probably going to pump. But in terms of Miggles actually separating, it would help a lot if it came up and put in a higher local high. That's just the reality of the situation. But you always have to remember that technical analysis is very hit or miss on meme coins. The reality is that meme coins are heavily driven based on hype. So if all of a sudden Miggles releases some very bullish news, then it's probably going to explode. Now, if we take a look at the Miggles X account, they're still doing everything that I like to see. And I try and point this out in pretty much every Miggles video, but what truly separates Miggles is the Miggles team. The team grinds as hard as any team out there. They are constantly attending events and growing their network. In the crypto space, network is extremely important. In general, this project has so much going for it. But honestly, there's not much else for me to say about Miggles at the current moment. The reality is that it's going to have a major impact based on what Bitcoin and Ethereum actually do. If you're the Miggles team and you have bullish news that you're going to release, you're probably not going to release it until we see a market breakout. So I wouldn't necessarily expect anything crazy with Miggles unless we see the market breakout. I could be wrong though. But long term, I am very bullish on this project. All that being said though, if you guys are interested in joining a like-minded community and getting into projects super early like Miggles, then I recommend taking a look at my Discord. As a lot of you guys know, I first posted Miggles in my Discord on day 1, but we've been making huge gains in here this entire bull run. We've already called 6 different 200x projects as a community. And understand market conditions are going to turn around again. As I pointed out at the beginning of the video with Bitcoin, we look very good from a technical analysis standpoint, at least in terms of the bigger picture. But if this is the kind of community that you wish to be a part of, you'll find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I'd love to see you guys in here. That's about all. Let me know down in the comments whether or not you guys are bullish on Miggles long term. If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.